and I would like to welcome everybody to the second episode of Design Disco. So it is a good, nice morning, because I remember last week I was wearing like really thick jacket to run this because it was such a cold Friday, but today it's a good day. And I'm really glad. It's 445 days since Leapfroggers have been working from home. And we are happy to present this Design Disco webinar series to you. To those who did not join last week, and if it's your first time here, let me give you a very brief description of what Design Disco is. So Leapfrog, being a company with several departments working together to build a product or a service, we kind of feel that the whole process of how these departments work with each other is like dancing in the disco floor. So that's where the idea of Design Disco came. And then we kind of structured this webinar in 6-part series, out of which today is the second day, where we will be talking with the folks from MarCom. So we're going to put MarCom in the middle. So that's where it comes from. MarCom stands for Marketing and Communications. So first of all, to introduce myself, I am Swapnil Acharya. I'm the principal product designer here, and I oversee the design department. And I've also been very closely involved with these folks in MarCom to help them create a branding identity and the overall marketing message for Leapfrog. So it's been kind of going back to the history. 2017, the design department was formed, and shortly after that, the marketing and communications department also became one of the integral part of Leapfrog. So if you ask me, before that time, there was no like structured or integrated activities that we did through this department. But today, I'm really glad to say that we have this incredible people, both in the marketing communications side and the design side, who have made it possible to stand out as one of the most forward-thinking and the coolest company in the social media space. So when we talk about the overall structure of how our outreach activities at Leapfrog happens, is kind of that 3 ways, out of which the first way is the physical and the event marketing, which I have Pranjali Singh. She's the events and PR officer. She spearheads this team that kind of does all the outreach activities, all the like events, all of the kind of, the social events, and also thanks to her and her team who kind of made this webinar series possible. The other team is the digital marketing team, who are the guys who use Facebook and Instagram for a living. Just kidding. So these are the guys who make us look good on social media. And then the third one is the outbound marketing guys, who are like do the boring stuff, like reaching out to clients, which we will not be discussing today. I'm just kidding. So kind of that is something that we do on a client level. But when we look at the front-facing side of our company, these are the 2 departments that hold the flags and kind of takes us to the battle every time. So I'd like to welcome Pranjali Singh, Events and PR Officer, and I have Drishya Bhattarai, who's the Assistant Digital Marketing Officer. Welcome, guys. So I'm going to give you a short kind of a minute to introduce yourselves and let our audience know who you are and what you do. Pranjali, you want to go first?
Yeah, I thought Drishya would go first, but thank you so much, Swapnil. That was enough introduction, I think. But just to talk about myself, I've been with Leapfrog for a little over 2 years. And events team I've been working as an officer for over a year now. So just like Swapnil said, yes, we do try to make interesting events for Leapfrog, and then they may Amro events for us any digital marketing. So Drishya.
Hi everyone, my name is Drishya Bhattarai. As Swapnil already introduced me, I'm the assistant digital marketer at Leapfrog. I've been working with Leapfrog for almost 2 years now. Yeah, that's pretty much it about me.
Awesome. Thanks, Drishya. Thanks, Pranjali. So welcome on board. So first of all, the funniest part we often talk about ourselves is like how we have a love triangle with the 3 departments. So if you see in the slide, so the love triangle actually is there between the events, the DM and the design team. And we kind of feel that we've been very dependent and interdependent on each other to make our activities possible. So I kind of would like to now take a moment to like Drishya, if you want to guide us through like the process and how we do it and what we do to our audiences, that would be super cool. So I'm gonna.
Okay, thank you, Swapnil. Hi again. So for the next few minutes, I would like to walk you guys through what particularly what the DM team does at Leapfrog. And maybe by the end of it, you guys might be able to understand a little bit about how like we work as a team. Next slide, okay. So let's just get started from branding. So Leapfrog, you guys might have like seen us on our social media. I'm assuming because most of you guys filled out the form. Social media register so I'm just gonna assume that social media you guys follow us. So you guys must be familiar with at least some of these posts or even some of our newsletters, email invitations, and maybe you guys have seen our website and all. So we want to maintain a kind of like a consistent khalko personality. एउटा हुन्छ नि एउटा brand build गर्नलाई चाहिँ events team र design team, they help us a lot in making all these kinds of posts and all this kind of like consistency ko stuff right now. So अहिले पनि मैले Leapfrog को brand भनेर एक दुई चोटी भन्दाखेरि you guys must have like imagined त्यो Leapfrog को blue र like green color को कुराहरु के. So yeah, so that is actually the purpose of branding us as a company. And for example अब कसैले like मैले Nike भने चाहिँ कसैको दिमागमा if you guys thought about like the check mark and the just do it भन्ने slogan, Leapfrog ले पनि like हुन्छ नि, that's our goal, that is our goals of branding बाट के भन्दाखेरि we just want to get inside your heads or get stuck in your head somehow, and yeah, that is it. And maybe someday like you are scrolling something, scrolling Instagram or Facebook or anything, अनि त्यहाँ गएर चाहिँ if you, or even like scroll checking your mails and you see Leapfrog को एउटा कुनै post or like a heading, अनि if you guys like stop for a while and yo the Leapfrog ko vacancy or like Leapfrog ko post ho, you guys see it and then you guys take a moment to read it, I think like that would be a win for us branding wise. Moving on. So branding ke kura garirakhदाखेरि चाहिँ let me just introduce you to our mascot Ribi, जुन चाहिँ नि who's the green frog who's dancing यतातिर हैन. He used to be our mascot for a really long time हैन. अनि recently चाहिँ के भयो भन्दाखेरि Ribi has found his princess, अनि त्यसपछि he has turned into a prince, and now we've sort of moved on from him to तलको पोस्टहरु के. तलको पोस्टहरु चाहिँ अब like differences को पहिलाको र अहिलेको branding को differences मा like कुरा गर्ने हो भने चाहिँ it was mostly हाम्रो पोस्टहरु चाहिँ it used to be generic and there used to be Ribi, अनि अहिलेको पोस्ट चाहिँ we're trying to do it more like artsy, at like कस्तो भन्दाखेरि artsy अनि more engaging, अनि like we are trying to engage with the community a little bit more, and without losing the main like core factor of Leapfrog. Which brings me to my next point, the iterative process. So talking about consistency त मैले भने हैन, but एउटा stories of Leapfrog भन्ने campaign को पनि धेरैवटा different designs चाहिँ हामीले देख्न सक्छौं. Over the years our design has changed a lot हैन. So you guys might be wondering ki where is the consistency हैन. So त्यसको लागि I just have like one answer, which is evolution. त्यसबाट चाहिँ what I mean is when time passes and हुन्छ नि 5 years ago को पोस्टहरु चाहिँ नि अहिले 5 years ago को design and everything त्यो चाहिँ नि अहिले like trendy नहुन पनि सक्छ त्यो चाहिँ नि. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to like evolve according to the design trends as well. अनि यसको लागि चाहिँ I just have a small example. For example, मेरो चाहिँ if I look at मेरो 6-7 years अगाडिको पोस्टहरु, sometimes I cringe really hard because they're like that is not me at all now, and I don't even recognize who that person is. Like uppercase, lowercase letters, captions, and even like retrika pictures. So what I'm getting at is it's something that might be on trend. Like a few years back, it might not be trendy anymore, so we also try to stay relevant. We try to experiment with a couple of designs. Yeah, so that is my answer for the changing designs and all. But the main thing is like your posters, just the stories of Leapfrog money campaign le चाहिँ के गर्न खोजिरहेको हो त हैन, यसले चाहिँ we're just trying to portray Leapfrog as we're more than a software factory. We have like all of these humans involved who have their own personal stories, own personalities on and all. त्यही भएर चाहिँ नि हामीले एउटा हुन्छ नि त्यो point send across karna khojirako ke yo pada. So that is what actually remains consistent throughout the years, even though the design changes a little bit. Moving on. So tone and voice ko kura garnu pardakheri chai, okay, everyone knows that Leapfrog is kind of like a corporate company. It is corporate company, and I'm not going to lie here. We are very serious, we're professional where we need to be. But we're also so much more than that, and there is a whole other side to us, like where we have a sort of like a rich culture and where we are friendly people, right? So if social media and websites are if I'm more corporate tone and voice use garyo भने चाहिँ maybe you guys won't be able to relate to that as much, and maybe you guys will be bored soon. Ani also no one really comes to social media to be like bored, right? So त्यही भएर so we try to maintain alikati fun khalko, friendly khalko, inviting, which is also another part of Leapfrog. So yeah, that is what we try to do with the tone and voice. Moving on. Yeah, so यो सबै चाहिँ Leapfrog internal Leapfrog आफ्नै marketing को कुराहरु चाहिँ भयो हैन. But except that, we also try to get involved in our projects haru. Ani projects haruमा चाहिँ we work with the project manager or product manager सँग चाहिँ सँगै काम गरेर we try to identify the users for them. We try to find out whether there is actually a market that is viable or not for that product. Ani we try to reach out to those people. Ani त्यसपछि त्यसको माथिबाट चाहिँ already यो regular digital marketing को कुराहरु, just like content marketing, अनि blogs हरु publish गर्ने, website मा content लेख्ने, ads हरु run गर्ने, ads को लागि videos बनाउने, त्यो चाहिँ सबै design team र यता DM team चाहिँ मिलेर गरिरहेको हुन्छ. Moving on. Okay, so यसमा चाहिँ I just want to know यहाँबाट कतिजनाले चाहिँ regularly social media मा post गर्नुहुन्छ. Just type yes in the chat box, like actively use गर्ने.
At least once a post every day or two posts a week. So once I kind of try to like maintain maybe one post a week, I'm kind of holding myself. Even if I take a nice photo, I kind of limit it to posting it next week.
Yeah. So okay, quite a lot of you have typed yes. Okay, so as far as what I'm getting at, okay, let me just share you guys a story first. And this switch pons. So मेरो चाहिँ 3-4 जना बेस्ट फ्रेन्ड सँग चाहिँ I have a group chat के, अनि के पोस्ट गर्नु पर्यो भने I just send त्यहाँ मलाई मन परेको 2-3 वटा पिक्चर्सहरु, अनि त्यसपछि उनीहरुले चाहिँ यो राम्रो छैन, यो राम्रो छ, they just kind of compare it for me, अनि त्यसपछि ए यो क्याप्सन हाल्न, or like I'll edit this for you, or यस्तो भनेर चाहिँ हाम्रो त्यस्तो खालको like एउटा चाहिँ ग्रुप chat छ के. Might not be relatable for you guys, but हुन्छ नि that's what we do. अनि so what I'm trying to say is जम्मा like हुन्छ नि हामीले social media मा गएर केही पोस्टहरु scroll गरिराख्नु छ भने it just takes like 2 minutes, like 2 seconds, I think 2 seconds and 1 extra second to like के त्यति मात्रै गर्छौं हैन. But त्यसको पछाडी चाहिँ there is a lot of behind the scenes. Even एउटा personal post गर्नको लागि पनि हामीले कति सोचिराको हुन्छ के यो गरौँ कि अब last week एउटा like I clicked a good picture किनभने म त्यति बेला चाहिँ घुम्न गएको थिएँ भने होस् let me just save this picture अनि म next time अलिकति हुन्छ नि लकडाउन भइहाल्यो भने next time post गर्छु भनेर राखिराको हुन्छ के. So you know what I'm trying to get at is it takes a lot of planning, right? So Leapfrog ma pani त्यही नै कुरा relate हुन जान्छ कि Leapfrog ma pani we do a lot and lots of planning for like okay campaigns छ, के events छ भने there's a lot of behind the scenes things involved जुन चाहिँ नि यस्तो like as you can see in the screen यस्तो calendars हरु and you know त्यस्तो stuff हरु भइराको हुन्छ हैन. So okay, so यसमा चाहिँ I'm trying to relate it to हाम्रो आफ्नो DM team हैन. DM team मा पनि एकदमै हुन्छ नि, एकदमै साथीभाइहरुसँग बसेर कुरा गरिराखेको जस्तै नै डायनामिक्स हुन्छ के अहिले, because like we've been working together for like 6-7 months now. अनि त्यहाँ पनि अब कसैले एउटा कुरा के आइडिया लिएर आयो भने चाहिँ everyone just if it's a good idea, everyone just tries to make it how can we make it better भनेर चाहिँ conversation start गर्छौं के हामीले. अनि even if it's a bad post, we just sometimes make fun of it, and we roast it sometimes, and at the end we always try to come up with something better than what we started with. So yeah, so there's a lot of like, you know, planning, reviewing and everything that is involved. And you also shout out to the whole team, just like any you gonna like when they helped me out a lot. So yeah, you guys are the best. And finally एउटा last point को कुरा गर्नु पर्यो भने चाहिँ जब हामी एउटा कुनै लाइक हुन्छ नि पोस्टर क्याम्पेनहरु रन गरिरहेको हुन्छ त्यसको लागि चाहिँ we just have like one main unspoken जस्तो खालको rule हैन, which is what intention before ideation हैन. So which means like कुनै पनि पोस्ट को आइडिया आउनु भन्दा अगाडि or कुनै पनि कन्टेन्ट पब्लिश गर्नु भन्दा अगाडि यो पोस्ट को चाहिँ नि के इन्टेन्सन हो त, what are we trying to achieve from this post अनि or this event even, अनि त्यसले चाहिँ लिफरगमा के भ्यालु एड गर्न सक्छ भन्ने कुरा चाहिँ हामीले डिस्कसन गरिरहेको हुन्छ के. सो फर इक्जाम्पल लास्ट टाइमको वेबिनारमा चाहिँ के गरेको थियो भने, सो एभ्रीवान वाज पोस्टिङ अन लिङ्क्डइन कि मैले यो पढेँ भनेर सर्टिफिकेट्सहरू राखिरहेको थिएँ कि. सो someone came up with an idea ki since we're in a position of teaching people stuff, why don't we like give them like sort of a crash course jasto, and let's create a webinar series bhanera idea. So that was the intention, and webinars from the future was the idea त्यसबाट निस्केको. So yeah, I feel like I've been talking for ages. I know. Now I'd like to call Pranjali Didi to talk more about this creative process that goes behind the scenes at Leapfrog events.
Oh, thank you, Drishya. Leapfrog events के कुरा गर्ने हो भने चाहिँ नि फर्स्टमा we have like a set of annual events जुन चाहिँ नि हामीले कन्डक्ट गरिरा हुन्छ हैन. अरु इभेन्टहरु गर्नु पर्यो भने चाहिँ नि just like Drishya mentioned, it's evolution हुन्छ नि, whatever is trending or whatever is in demand, है. So demand in a sense, like अहिले recently what I'm very proud of is हाम्रो series of we've done mental health issues को लागि हैन, अहिले COVID related अनि so त्यस्तो इभेन्ट्सहरु गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ नि मोस्टली डिजाइन टिमसँग हाम्रो लिङ्कै त्यसरी हुन्छ कि लाइक दिस जस्ट मेन्सन्ड हैन. सो बेसिकली व्हाट वी ट्राई टु डु इज एउटा पोस्टबाट चाहिँ नि कतिको इन्फर्मेसन दिने हैन, अनि ब्रान्डिङको कुरा आउँछ. सो डिजाइन टिमसँग चाहिँ नि हाम्रो त्यसरी नै लिङ्क भइरा हुन्छ है. सो फर्स्ट अफ चाहिँ नि yeah, if you see the slide here, right? Basically कहिलेकाहीँ गफमा let's do this भनेर हुन्छ हैन, तर कहिलेकाहीँ चाहिँ नि I don't want to go empty handed. त्यसमा चाहिँ नि स्वप्निलसँग मलाई एउटा क्वेशन सोध्नु थियो, like remember how I come with this weird ideas with you हैन. And last time I remember you guys talking about clients and clientsहरु कति difficult हुन्छ. I wanted to ask you personally, like how difficult are we as a client, Swapnil?
Well, actually, I mean, say we treat you guys as a client because it's pretty difficult to make you guys impressed or kind of so they actually, yes, I'd like to confess that they gave us a hard time. But the good thing is that ideas are so cool and it's kind of so noble ideas that sometimes we need to take a step back and think like isko solution kasari execute garne challenging. And but thanks for pushing the envelope. So you guys are like really kind of making like the design team like push their limits and try to do something new and innovative. And yes, actually, I think we really have enjoyed doing like really crazy ideas, and they have actually worked out, which is kind of the accomplishment. But yeah, I would say that because internally accomplish गर्नलाई पनि we kind of work it like a project, a real project. And so client को project जस्तै गरेर एउटा इभेन्ट डिजाइन को पनि प्रोजेक्टमा त्यसैगरी काम गर्यो भने चाहिँ बल्ल काम हुँदो रहेछ हैन, न त चाहिँ भित्रको काम त हो नि, यसलाई त जे गरे नि हुन्छ भन्ने भयो भने चाहिँ बिग्रिन्छ हैन. So that's something that we've learned. So हामी चाहिँ even when we are doing सानो भन्दा सानो काम त्यसमा चाहिँ we have a sort of planning, we have somebody playing the PM's role and doing all that stuff, so that to make sure that we are able to meet the deadline and we're able to like deliver the good quality of stuff. So that's there.
The reason why I wanted to ask you that was because if you guys can see, अलिकति त्यो एउटा whiteboard को छेउमा चाहिँ नि there's this jacket को drawing के हैन. I remember we were just thinking अब goodiesहरु दिने भनेर, and then we were jacket ko I was sketching हैन. अनि स्वप्निललाई भेट्न it's so hard. So what I did was त्यो sketch लिएर स्वप्निल खाइरहेको ठाउँमा I was like, Swapnil, what is this idea? And sometimes I know I'm really difficult. I'm really sorry about that. But going back to what we were talking about is the crazy ideas लिएर चाहिँ नि we go to the design team. So like Swapnil mentioned, we're the hard clients, we're the garo kinds. So moving on, design team le अझ के गर्यो भने, since I have been doing that, डिजाइन टिमले चाहिँ नि सानो हामीलाई एउटा फिग्माको ट्रेनिङ दिनुभएको थियो कि. दे वर लाइक ल बेसिक त तिमीहरू गरी हेर न, लाइक स्टप बदरिङ अस भने जस्तो गरी हैन. सो इफ यु सी विभ नेम्ड इट नन डिजाइनर भर्सेस डिजाइनर हैन. सो त्यो जुन रिबी उडिरहेको चाहिँ नि पिक्चर छ, द्याट इज वाट इभेन्ट्स टिम केम अप विथ है. And I remember the hours we spent in that. And Gorun jail sama, I was like, designer le the yaar yo 10 minute ma so why is it taking me so long? And if you see the other slide, that is what happens when you go with a crazy idea. And 10 minutes man, they're like, boop, 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 okay, is this it? So हाम्रो difficulties त्यही छ कि, like branding हैन. अब अघि नै दृश्यले पनि मेन्सन गर्यो, हाम्रो Leapfrogमा there's this we call him our brand police. हाम्रो टुप्पी यति कस्नु भएको छ उहाँले हैन. सरोजजी, yes I know. सरोज हाँसिरा होला त्यहाँ बसेर. ब्रान्डको हिसाबमा he's made sure that we know हैन कस्तो टेक्स्ट राख्ने, what is the message you're trying to send. अघि नै दृश्यले मेन्सन गर्यो नि. सो ब्रान्ड पुलिसले हाम्रो यति टुप्पी तान्नु भएको छ कि अब त we just know स्पोन्सरशिपमा दिनलाई पनि we know कि कस्तो कलर जानुपर्छ, के कन्टेन्ट जानुपर्छ, what are we trying to message हैन. So moving on, अहिले चाहिँ नि what we've noticed is physical event गर्दा र virtual event गर्दा चाहिँ नि अलिकति डिफरेन्स चाहिँ आउने रहेछ कि. So if you see यहाँ चाहिँ नि हामीले के गरेको थियो भने हाम्रो quarterly all-ins, like I mentioned, हाम्रो annual eventsहरु हुँदाखेरि चाहिँ नि we do a lot of fun stuff physically हैन. मान्छेहरु सबैजना physical present हुँदा चाहिँ नि. अनि challenge चाहिँ के भएको थियो भने लकडाउनमा how are we going to make it interesting for people. अब हो क्वार्टरली इभेन्ट हो, तर त्यसमा पनि कसरी इन्ट्रेस्ट गर्ने भन्दाखेरि इन्ट्रेस्टिङ गर्ने भन्दाखेरि विवेक had just joined in. Thanks Vivek. Vivek had just joined in हैन. So we just came up with this, okay, let's do a throwback video. So basically we went through all the photos and videos we had. अनि त्यसमा चाहिँ नि combining those two हैन. So if you see एउटामा चाहिँ नि we're physically present there, अर्कोमा चाहिँ नि कृतिका हाम्रो PM came up with this idea to say like quarterly मा त इभेन्ट भइसकेपछि we have fun dancing and stuff, त्यो include गरौँ भन्दाखेरि हैन. Vivek बिचरा भर्खरै आएको अनि इभेन्ट्स टिम was like, okay, you know what, we've got this crazy idea, we've got so many pictures, so many videos, compile गरौँ न, let's do this भनेर हैन. Again, the difficult client. So difference चाहिँ नि त्यही आउँदो रहेछ है. So moving on, अहिले हाम्रो challenge चाहिँ नि के भएको छ भने इभेन्टको एउटा सक्सेस मेजर गर्ने नि it's about attendance हैन. मान्छे कतिजना आयो, how interesting have you made it. Like DM टिमको च्यालेन्ज चाहिँ त्यही हुन्छ कि कति इन्ट्रेस्टिङ गरेर मान्छेहरूलाई कसरी तान्ने हैन. If you see the variety of posters there, we try to make it as engaging सुरुदेखि नै, so that people have that curiosity. ए अब के गर्न लागिरहेछ त यिनीहरूले भनेर हैन. So design team सँगको चाहिँ नि nagging events टिमको कहिले पनि सकिन्न के. So if you see the kind of variety of posters that have come in, त्यसमा चाहिँ नि branding, like Drishya mentioned, like color, content के राख्ने भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ नि design टिमको टुप्पी कसाई यति sure भइसक्यो कि we're like, oh, this is what we need. अब हजुरहरु हेर्दिनुस्. So moving on, events with design ko relationships, it's not just still there. And so yeah, we do this also. Any event we have, we want to give back. So alikati dida kheri chai ni goodies haruko pani design haina. So events team ko chai ni jaile pani challenge त्यही हो कि engaging कसरी गर्ने मान्छेलाई engaging गर्नलाई we do a lot of competition. If you saw the previous posters, त्यसमा पनि competition को धेरै छ कि competition पछिको goodies पनि आयो हैन. So design team सँग चाहिँ नि we just go with all these crazy ideas, boast it up so much and unrealistic नै expectation राखेर जान्छ and they tone us down. They're like हैन यति गरौँ न अहिले यति गरौँ न हैन. And if you see happy दसैँ वाला poster, Swapnil, do you remember what happened here? दसैँकोमा we were like यति boring भइसकेको थियो हैन. लकडाउनमा if you guys remember last year lockdown नै थियो strict. So 5-6 months we were already down lockdown हैन. कम्पनीले के इन्ट्रेस्टिङ गर्नु पर्यो नि त, people are so bored भने हैन. अब we have like since events team is connected with so many different other बाहिरको मान्छेहरू like hotels and other vendors-हरु, उहाँहरूलाई पठाउनलाई पनि greeting cards चाहियो भनेर चाहिँ नि events teamले डिजाइनलाई अप्रोच गरे हैन. डिजाइनलाई अप्रोच गरे के तरिकाले, स्वप्निल रिबीले पिङ खेल्या नाइ, रिबीले चङ्गा उडाको नाइ, रिबीको निधारमा टिका नाइ, let's do something different.
Yeah, totally. Totally, we've done this and it's been so overused. दसैँ भन्ने बित्तिकै त्यो स्काई ब्लू कलरको ब्याकग्राउन्डमा चङ्गा अनि जमरा पिङ, and we just wanted to break that monotony के. So हामी आफै पनि we've done that previously हैन, previous years मा हामीले आफै पनि गरेको थियो. त्यो भएर चाहिँ मैले चाहिँ I kind of let's do something unique, but again unique हुँदा हुँदै it should have our touch. फेरि यसमा चाहिँ हामीले मण्डला not like साधारण मण्डला मात्र राखेको भए probably it would not make that much of an impact. So what you see there is त्यो जुन मण्डला भित्र चङ्गा रिबी माछा अनि त्यसपछि विभिन्न लिपफ्रगको कुराहरू छ के, अनि त्यहाँभित्र लिपफ्रग भन्ने पनि देखिरहेछ. अनि त्यो गरेको कारण के भन्दाखेरि we want to do something that has kind of we want to हामी आफै गरिरहेको चिजलाई पनि हामीले त्यसलाई चाहिँ अझ राम्रो कसरी गर्न सकिन्छ भन्ने एउटा हामीले आफैलाई च्यालेन्ज दियो. अर्को कुरा चाहिँ still we should not lose our brand or message भनेर चाहिँ I did this यो प्रोक्रिएटमा मैले लिटरली लाइक 20-25 मिनटमा कलर गरेर Pranjali this does this work भनेकोलाई फाइनल मलाई प्रिन्टेबल भर्जन पठाउ गरे. So that was how it happened हैन. And actually it kind of what I really like about this is because हामीले चाहिँ अहिले एक्जिस्टिङ लोकल मार्केट हाम्रो कम्पनी मात्रै हैन, हाम्रो जस्तै काम गर्ने अथवा नेपालमा अरु विभिन्न डिजिटल मार्केटिङ गरिराखेको कम्पनीहरुको पनि एउटा एकदम प्याटर्न जस्तो बनिसक्यो के. ह्यापी घोडे जात्रा, ह्यापी जनै पूर्णिमा, ह्यापी लाइक छठ पर्व, अनि we kind of think that about that is a part of it because yeah that's like a tried and tested digital marketing गर्दाखेरि इभेन्ट को दिनमा अथवा कुनै चाडपर्वको दिनमा मान्छेलाई विश गर्दाखेरि engagement बढ्छ. Yes, that is proven, but how many 100 and 1000 times are we going to do that over and over again भनेर we kind of trying to break that mold. त्यही भएर हामी चाहिँ let's do something more interesting, something more exciting. अनि even when we're creating our like उतै तलपट्टि if you see the bottom मा त्यो डायरी को चाहिँ भित्रको illustrations हो. Okay, so एउटा साधारण डायरी पनि कसैले हामी चाहिँ ब्रान्डिङ गर्न सक्छौं हामी Leapfrog because we want to make sure that it stands out or consider those kind of those really interesting certificates that you see there, you know. So it's kind of an attempt and approach to make things stand out and both for digitally and physically, and that's exactly what the challenge has been, and I'm really glad that we've all worked together to make it possible.
Right, thank you. So elaborating on our love triangle, moving on, so एउटा physical event or virtual event मा चाहिँ नि what is the kind of information that we're trying to send है, अनि जस्तो social media post को लागि even in any event social media को post को pictures हरु कसरी ल्याउने भनेर चाहिँ नि हाम्रो love triangle चाहिँ त्यहाँ हुन्छ कि कहिले डिजिटल मार्केटिङले डिजाइन टिमको अटेन्सन पाएन भनेर झगडा भइरहन्छ, कहिले चाहिँ नि इभेन्ट्स टिमबाट हैन, तर डिजाइन टिमलाई चाहिँ नि हामीले तानै गरेर हुन्छ कि. अब एउटा पिक्चरमा इफ यु सी दसैँको सेलिब्रेसन थियो त्यो that was 2019 मा हैन. So of course we wanted to present that we are a cool company and we are. So त्यसलाई चाहिँ नि सोशल मिडियामा पोस्ट गर्दाखेरि how can we make it even more fun हैन, कसरी गुड झनै अट्र्याक्टिभ कसरी बनाउने भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ नि we come up with all these wacky ideas हैन. If you see त्यहाँ त्यो एउटा फ्रेममा छ नि you can see त्यो फोटो एउटा त्यो चाहिँ नि के गरेको थियो नि, we did like a COVID-मा चाहिँ नि, since we were missing everyone भनेर quarterly event-मा we tried to make it interesting by the whole entire team or like a project sending a message to the entire company हैन. And of course design team ले flaunt गर्नै पर्यो उहाँहरुको स्टाइल. अब हामी चाहिँ बिचरा कागजमा लिएर हुन्छ नि, we were just writing we will be together, and design team को चाहिँ नि त्यहाँ flaunt के बजिङ्गा आउँछ के हैन, अनि पेज पाए हुन्छ कि त्यसरी चाहिँ. But they've always made sure that we're so branding conscious के कहाँ चाहिँ नि Leapfrog कसरी देखाउने, whether it be our people, events team को अर्को एउटा गोल चाहिँ नि के छ भने we're promoting our people हैन. So हाम्रो मान्छेहरूलाई चाहिँ कसरी बेस्ट पोर्ट्रे गराउने. इफ यु सी अलिकति स्लाइडमा चाहिँ काटिएछ त्यो रङ्गोली बनाएको हैन तिहारमा, अब छुट्टी हुन अगाडि we're like केही गरौँ न त एज अ कम्पनी भनेर. हाम्रो डिजाइन टिमको डिजाइन पुलिस आएर कति बेरसम्म त्यो लिफ्रगको लोगो मिलेन भनेर हैन. दे वर लाइक 3-4 डिजाइनर मेजरिङ एन्ड त्यो कलर पनि एकदमै डिटेल के. लिफ्रगको इमेजिन रङ्गोली बनाउँदाखेरि पनि लाइन बाहिर गयो भनेर सरोजी आउनु भएको थियो त्यहाँ चेक गर्न हैन. सो in a way it's been very exciting to work with design team. Like it's really frustrating. Oh my god, come on guys, त्यति त छोड्दियो भन्ने हुन्थ्यो हैन. तर काम गर्दा गर्दै चाहिँ नि it's been really interesting. Like we've become so brand conscious हैन. हाम्रो बाहिरतिर स्पोन्सरशिपमा पनि, sponsorship or any other event that we do, we're like Leapfrog कसरी visible भयो त, whether the मान्छे, whether the logo or posters and banners हैन. Moving on physical eventहरुमा पनि, yeah, Swapnil is right there. So we've made sure that Leapfrog brand is presented properly. Okay? So Leapfrog, जस्तै दृश्यले अघि न introduce गराएको थियो रिबीलाई हैन. So we were presenting Ribi in specific ways. We are representing हाम्रो मान्छेहरु specific ways, and Leapfrog चाहिँ नि visible हुनु पर्यो. स्वप्निलले thumbs up गरेर sketch को देखाइरहेछ t-shirt, and we've done couple of events where we've made sure that Leapfrog brand is pretty clear. So yeah, event digital marketing design team ko love triangle चाहिँ नि हाम्रो यस्तै हो. So yeah.
Right, definitely. And I think it's very interesting because symbiosis has actually worked really well just and even the beauty of it is like all of us are on the same page. Like for example, like design team saying kind of a certain tarikale sochne and event team going like how do we do that just to gonna sakincha ra bhanne khalko त्यो भइदियो भने अलिकति गाह्रो हुन्थ्यो है काम गर्न. or our digital marketing folks who are like इन त्यस्तो त गर्नु हुँदैन, कहाँ त्यस्तो पोस्ट गर्नु हुन्छ भनेर हैन. Because I think what we've done is we're very clear about who we are. र खासमा चाहिँ मान्छेलाई हामीले सफ्टवेयर इन्जिनियरदेखि लिएर सबैजनालाई अनबोर्ड गराउँदाखेरि चाहिँ what is the culture भन्ने कुरा चाहिँ बुझाउँछ के. So it's very important कि लिपफ्रगमा सर्भाइभ गर्नको लागि I think one of the most important things that you need to understand is the culture of the company and how everyone is. अनि त्यो कुरा चाहिँ सबैले बुझेर everybody same पेजमा भएको भएर मात्रै we actually able to achieve this. Otherwise चाहिँ हामी probably यति efficiently यति हामीले सोचेको जस्तो काम चाहिँ गर्न सक्दैन थियो जस्तो लाग्छ मलाई हैन. अनि like hats off to you guys who kind of come up with these great ideas or kind of appreciate our cool ideas. Like yesterday, Isabelka, I was having this like a conversation about how to like do about campaigns or let's say कसरी गर्ने भन्ने चाहिँ idea आइरहेको थियो हैन. But there is something that we are planning out about अहिले announce नगरौँ because we're still working that out. Like Drishya said, spreadsheet मा बल्ल काम हुँदैछ हैन. त्यो चाहिँ probably भएपछि next week तिर चाहिँ we'll probably be ready to launch. र त्यो गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ what we really show is we actually not afraid to take risks, because I think we have that kind of affordance to take risk because we are actually positioning ourselves as a very forward-thinking company, and we are like really innovators. And last week, innovators, so we also kind of make sure that reflects in our work, because Leapfrog clearly has a US presence, and there are certain activities, marketing activities happening in the US, but there's also a huge ecosystem that we have in Nepal. We're not afraid to kind of be transparent about that. We have this massive company in Kathmandu where we have this incredible people here who are like real people. भन्ने चाहिँ हामी चाहिँ हाम्रो US साइडमा पनि देखाउन चाहिँ we are not afraid, because a lot of companies, what I've seen, especially IT companies, don't actively announce their presence outside US, but we don't do that because this is pride that we hold. I'm not like like pride को चीज हो कि हामी we are like doing all these awesome stuff from Nepal भनेर हैन. अनि त्यो चाहिँ हाम्रो सोशल मिडियामा हाम्रो पोस्टहरुमा अथवा हाम्रो इभेन्ट्सहरुमा पनि हामी त्यसलाई चाहिँ we try to show it because it's important. If we don't, we actually don't become that the value or the belief that we hold. And त्यो कुरा चाहिँ it's been very kind of been consistent with all the physical or the virtual activities that we do. Definitely early COVID पछि last 1.5 years now we've had issues doing physical events because physical events are super cool हुन्थ्यो हैन. Pranjali, let's say we actually even had school boards once after the event, so that's the kind of like new things that we want to do, something that's not been done before. हामीले एउटा क्वार्टरमा certain चिज गर्यो भने पनि त्यसलाई चाहिँ next क्वार्टरमा त्यो भन्दा राम्रो or फरक कसरी गर्न सकिन्छ भन्ने नि that is the challenge that we keep giving ourselves. त्यो गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ I think we've really managed to do cool things, wacky things, often raising people's eyebrow like what really भने जस्तो पनि हैन. And that actually really helps us के हैन मान्छेहरुलाई पनि internally र externally पनि kind of it really helps because हामी कतिवटा like हेरिहाल्नु भयो हैन इभेन्टहरु जुन internal इभेन्ट्सहरुलाई पनि हामीले उत्तिकै मेहनत गरेर त्यसको collateralsहरु त्यसको मेसेजिङहरु क्रिएट गरिरहेको हुन्छ, and also the external events like this one or the ones that we've done before. So kind of it really shows कि the whole thing comes down to the personality that we're building, showing कि IT company boring हुन जरुरी छैन भनेर हैन. And definitely that was one of the main things our CEO Chrisley often tells कि just make sure that the how cool the people are, it kind of reflects on the brand. So that was his guidance or the directive that I received when doing the rebranding in 2017, and kind of it follows that theme, it follows that direction, and I think that's why we're here. So Drishya, there's this one more slide that I see that we wanted to talk about, a case study of how an event goes from idea to execution. And Pranjali, please feel free to add your ideas, and also to the participants who are listening to us, if you have any questions you can drop them in the chat, so we'll answer that like once this candid conversation is over. Ani bichma, I'll also send you a feedback form which I really urge that you fill out so that we can do better in the future. So this link चाहिँ म यहाँ अहिले chatमा एकैछिनमा हाल्दिन्छु हैन. तर चाहिँ meanwhile if you have questions, the question पनि तपाईले चाहिँ chatमा drop गर्दै जानु होला. So Pranjali, Drishya, let's show them how we did this hackathon event.
Yeah, sure, of course.
So okay, hackathon चाहिँ let's talk about सुरुमा hackathon को idea चाहिँ कसरी आयो भन्ने कुरा. Who wants to go?
Pranjali.
Hackathon को idea चाहिँ नि, it was just like हाम्रो active VP कैलाश लकडाउनकै ड्युरेसनमा it was like मान्छेहरु बोर पनि भयो होला, लिफ्रगको प्रेजेन्स पनि भइरा छैन, एउटा इभेन्ट केही गरौँ न that shows that लिफ्रग is okay and we're actually trying to cheer people up हैन. सबैजना कोभिड यस्तो स्ट्रेस्ड आउट कुरा मात्र गरिरहेको थियो. अब how can we give back to the community, अलिकति रमाइलो केही चिज भनिसकेपछि चाहिँ नि ह्याकाथन गरौँ भनेर एउटा आइडिया आएको थियो. ह्याकाथनको पनि आइडिया अराउन्ड लाइक के को बारेमा ह्याकाथन गर्ने त भन्दाखेरि कैलाश वाज लाइक सो थटफुल, ही वाज लाइक सबैजना कस्तो ग्रिम र स्याड भइरहेछ हैन, कोभिड मात्र फोकस नगरौँ, हेल्थ केयर मात्र नगरौँ, बिकज देयर आर लट अफ पिपल were worried about it. अब त्यसमध्ये what else can we give back to the society हैन, कसरी चाहिँ नि कम्युनिटीलाई ल अब there is something to look up for भनेर चाहिँ के मेसेज पठाउने भन्दाखेरि we thought about it since Leapfrog has a link with a school, हाम्रो school audience school सँग हैन. So we're like ल हुन्छ, let's do something on education so that हाम्रो promote गरेर winners-हरुलाई पनि pilot test-हरु गराउनलाई we have this school that we can work with. So त्यो हुँदाखेरि चाहिँ नि ह्याकेटको आइडिया आएको थियो हैन. Hackett-को अब जस्तो अघि नै I mentioned, after we think about an event, we also include a lot of stakeholders, होइन, because events teamमा not necessarily we are IT people, okay? So त्यसमा चाहिँ नि stakeholdersहरू सबैजनालाई इन्भल्भ गराउन थाल्यो, त्यहाँ चाहिँ नि डिजाइन टिम पनि आयो है. So Hackett-को I still remember, Drishya, you came up with the logo idea, eh? Because it was like hackathon with education, होइन. So it was like Hackett, the hacked भने जस्तो भयो होइन. अनि ह्याकेटको त्यो नाम सोच्न पनि we had like 12-13 different names that we came up with. अनि त्यसपछि it was like high time, just like I said, डिजाइन टिम जहिले पनि बिजी हुन्छ कि हामीले उहाँहरूलाई तानिरहनलाई नै कति टाइम लाग्छ होइन. अनि सरोज I've mentioned his name. Saroj came up with this logo. कति बेर लाग्यो होला उसलाई, I think like in 1 hour. He's like, होइन तपाईँहरू सबै रेडी गर्नु अनि give me all the information, मैले अहिले कसरी गर्न सक्छु र भनेर भन्नुभएको थियो. अनि Disha, if you want to share, how did you come up with this logo idea?
So it was like हुन्छ नि अब ह्याक सुरुमा चाहिँ लाइक नामको एकदमै धेरै लाइक हुन्छ नि कसैले एड्यु लिप भनिरहेको थियो, कसैले एड्यु स्म्याश भनिरहेको थियो. So there was like lots and lots of हुन्छ नि आइडियाजहरू आइरहेको थियो. बट लास्टमा चाहिँ एकजना one of us just said hack it गरौँ, it sounds like hacked. अनि so I started searching कि अब so लाइक त्यो हुन्छ नि एनोनिमस खालको यस्तो झ्यारेर आउने त्यो लाइक ह्याकिङ भन्ने बित्तिकै के आउँछ नि दिमागमा, त्यही कुराहरूको भिडियोजहरू चाहिँ सर्च गरिरहेको थिएँ कि. अनि त्यहाँ अनि लाइक हुन्छ नि एउटा 80s को थिमको चाहिँ नि आई फाउन्ड समथिङ. अनि त्यो चाहिँ मैले पठाउने बित्तिकै लाइक हुन्छ नि त्यो एउटा त्यो पठाउने बित्तिकै सरोज दाई और आई थिङ्क इट वाज सरोज दाईले चाहिँ जस्ट
तिमीले त्यो मिस्टर रोबोट भन्ने सिरिजको त्यो एउटा के अरे ह्याकर म्यान भन्ने मिम पठाएको थियो के एक्चुअली, इफ आई रिमेम्बर करेक्टली.
त्यो चाहिँ याद आयो.
Yeah, because I think that there's this के अरे Rami Malek यसरी उभिएर होइन लाइक ह्याकर म्यान भनेर एउटा मिम छ कि. So kind of that was like, okay, this is a really cool idea, let's do this भनेर चाहिँ हामीले सोचेर चाहिँ we kind of went ahead with that direction.
Yeah, अनि लाइक एक दुईवटा रेफरेन्स पठाउने बित्तिकै अनि लाइक हुन्छ नि त्यो होल थिम चाहिँ सबैको दिमागमा आइसकेको रहेछ क्या लाइक डिजाइनिङमा. सो वेबसाइटमा पनि लाइक हुन्छ नि सेम 80s को थिमहरू, त्यो कम्प्युटर्स एन्ड अल. So everything got ready like really quick at that design teamसँग कोल्याबोरेट गरेपछि चाहिँ.
So the thing I really, really enjoy is we come up with this small idea and this is जहिले पनि स्पाइसेसहरू थप्ने चाहिँ डिजाइन टिमकै काम हुन्छ कि. It's like an episode of Master Chef हुन्छ नि. हामी चाहिँ नि होम कुकहरू बिस्तारै एउटा खाना डिस हुन्छ नि, बाबा कति नै राम्रो गराए जस्तो गरी लिएर जान्छ. And there's this मास्टर सेफहरू बसिरहनुहुन्छ, उहाँहरू चाहिँ काँटा लियो यसो यसो गर्यो उसो उसो गर्यो हुन्छ नि.
त्यो लेभलसम्म हामीले सोचेको पनि हुँदैन कि.
I know, right? उहाँ डिजाइन टिमको मास्टर सेफहरूले चाहिँ नि they just blow it up and make this so amazing.
Yeah.
And I think अनि कस्तो लाइक एउटा चाहिँ मैले एउटा प्याटर्न देखिरहेको छु कि अब आई थिङ्क नेक्स्ट इभेन्टमा चाहिँ वी निड टु ब्रेक द्याट प्याटर्न होइन. सो हामी चाहिँ अलिकति रेट्रो फिल आइरहेको छ कि हाम्रो ह्याकेट भयो, त्यसपछि हामी लास्ट इयर वेबिनार्स इन द फ्युचर गरेको थियो, त्यो पनि काइन्ड अफ इट ह्याड दिस रियली रेट्रो फिल. अनि भर्खर अनुज गोसाईले यहाँ एउटा क्वेसन सोध्नु भएको छ कि आर दोज कम्प्युटर्स पार्ट अफ द लोगो. यस दे एक्चुअली पार्ट अफ द ब्रान्डिङ बिकज द होल आइडिया वाज टु मेक it look very 80s, very primitive tech, and it's kind of we were using this kind of I think if you see मेरो पछाडि Pranjali को पछाडि त्यहाँ wallpaper मा you'll see those purano Macs, and so they're actually kind of it's just kind of celebrating the old days when technology like was just coming up. And again like त्यो भन्छ webinars from the future like चाहिँ त्यसै गरी प्लान गर्यो. तर यो इभेन्ट चाहिँ डिजाइन डिस्को भनेर चाहिँ we really wanted to go 80s को disco feel vibes हैन, त्यही भएको we do that. And event चाहिँ kind of when we have a theme, त्यसपछि त्यसको लागि चाहिने ornaments or त्यसको like like design मा चाहिने design elements चाहिँ आफै आउँदो रहेछ कि. So that's what happened with Hackett as well, and what's happened with Design Disco. अनि Design Disco and Hackett मा चाहिँ kind of we didn't have, तर यो Design Disco चाहिँ has been entirely kind of designed and put together by Vivek, who is our awesome designer. He's like a Swiss Army knife who does everything. And it's his idea, and if it's his kind of Vivek yasto khalko garau bhanne bhaneपछि चाहिँ he's like on it, and like one day later or maybe overnight in the morning you wake up with this bam surprising design elements with like okay done, this looks great, let's go ahead with this thing huncha malai. Yeah. Okay, Ani, okay, so Anjan Paudel asks, what is that yellow triangle? Oh, it's just an ornament. Actually, it's a screenshot because if you go in the real website, that is like a rotating ornament. So It kind of just looks good, and त्यो भएर चाहिँ अब इभेन्टहरु त्यस्तो भएको छ but this is actually we need to take into consider कि next time चाहिँ हामीले हाम्रो अघि नै मैले भनेको थिएँ हामीले हाम्रो एउटा प्याटर्नलाई चाहिँ ब्रेक गरेर thinking out of the box चाहिँ consistent गर्नुपर्छ भनेर. So maybe next event it's going to be much different from what we have right now. अनि ह्याकेटमा पनि kind of the website and everything, because all the teams are working together. अब यसमा चाहिँ हाम्रो developersहरु पनि हुनुहुन्थ्यो जसले चाहिँ यो GitHubमा they kind of created this website in about a day. अनि kind of they had all the content chom गरेर उहाँहरुले चाहिँ त्यो prepare गरेर they were able to launch it in a very short notice. So generally त्यो चाहिँ हुँदो रहेछ कि no matter how ahead of times we plan, कहिलेकाहीँ चाहिँ ideas kind of come in a click, and then just go given 12 to 24 hours to duration, or we have something substantial that every time त्यस्तै भइरहेछ हैन. त्यो चाहिँ kind of हो interesting. तर definitely मलाई चाहिँ के लाग्छ भन्दाखेरि आइडिया आउनको ढिला हो हैन. आइडिया आएपछि चाहिँ it kind of floods भन्ने चाहिँ मलाई लाग्छ. So there you go. It's thanks for pulling that up. So त्यो triangle चाहिँ त्यसरी animate हुन्छ. So just part of the overall look and feel. त्यसको लागि गरेको हो.
Someone
so yeah, this was one of
why do we love the retro theme so much?
Yes, I don't know, maybe it's a coincidence. It started off as a coincidence, but then the kind of the event that we planned, because our disco one day was disco ta chahiyo haina. Disco is definitely disco ko time bhaneko 70s 80s थियो. They we kind of had to resort to that theme, and अब डिस्को भनेर मिनिमल थिम गरे भने त त्यति राम्रो नदेख्ला नि त. त्यही भएर चाहिँ we kind of went with that. ह्याकेट चाहिँ it was kind of going with like a very retro vibe was kind of an intentional, this Drishya was the intentional decision थियो त्यो चाहिँ हैन. यो पनि यो चाहिँ it became more of a like त्यो ब्रान्डले नै हामीलाई त्यतातिर डोराउँदै लग्यो. We couldn't help but go that direction भएको, and it kind of really matters जस्तो लाग्छ मलाई हैन. अनि यसो Leapfrogको ब्रान्ड is kind of intentionally omitted from these, because these events themselves like stand alone as their own brands, because Hackett is something that we want to do in the future as well. And it's not necessarily, we don't need to call it Leapfrog Hackett, but it's a what we're doing is we're also trying to make these events or these series or let's say आफै पनि standalone ma they should make sense. One saying we don't overpower with Leapfrog brand, and again doing Leapfrog talk, Leapfrog this, Leapfrog that, saying kind of we are making sure that it kind of starts becoming too similar, and it becomes kind of confined गर्छ भनेर हामीले Leapfrog overall master brand चाहिँ बस्छ एक ठाउँमा, but त्यो हामीले particular event को चाहिँ आफै branding गरेर त्यसलाई नै आफ्नो standalone identity दिने काम चाहिँ we're doing that for a purpose, so that it kind of lets us more flexibility in terms of what we can do. So Leapfrog भन्ने बित्तिकै Leapfrogको color scheme, Leapfrogको font, Leapfrogको style मा हामी बाँधिनु पर्यो नि त. अनि again the thing is सुरुमा पनि I told you that two parts to it. एउटा चाहिँ there is this like client outreach or potential client को सँग हामीले गर्ने जुन communication छ, which is entirely different from what we show on social media, because of the target audience is so different. So when we're targeting a healthcare professional or a buyer, the content and the material, the slides that we take is exceptionally different from what you see here, and that is intentional. What you see here is targeted towards people like you and me, who are like on social media, who are like kind of are interested in technology, are technology practitioners. These contents are designed in this way. We kind of has a differentiation from the master branding, and also because it allows us more flexibility on what we can do. Drishya, do you want to add something to that?
Yeah, I think हजुरले भन्नुभएको like target audience वाला कुराहरु चाहिँ धेरै अरु एस्पेक्टहरुमा पनि रिलेटेड हुन्छ कि, जस्तो फर एक्जाम्पल एउटा टोन एन्ड भोइस कै कुरा गर्ने हो भने एउटा लाइक इभेन्टको एउटा हाम्रो छुट्टै एउटा पोलाइट एन्ड फ्रेन्डली एन्ड त्यो त छँदैछ हैन, बट स्टिल अब जस्तो द नेक्स्ट बिग लिप भने हामीले जुन कैलाश दाइलाई चाहिँ 5 इयर्स और मोर डेभलपरसँग कनेक्ट गर्न ट्राई गरिरहेको थियो कि, सो त्यो पोस्टको लाइक कपी चाहिँ इट वाज लाइक हुन्छ नि पुरै अलिकति मोर सिरियस टोन अनि एक्ज्याक्ट टु द पोइन्ट हैन, जबकि अब डिजाइन डिस्कोको लाइक टोन एन्ड भोइस हेर्ने हो भने चाहिँ इट्स लाइक डिजाइन डिस्को इज अन भनेर पुरै इमोजीसहरु युज गरेर अनि ह्याशट्याग्स युज गरेर yeah, so there go यता स्लाइड्समा पनि देखिरहेछ जुन नेक्स्ट बिग लिफको चाहिँ इट वाज लेफ्ट तिरको अनि सबभन्दा राइट मोस्टको चाहिँ डिजाइन डिस्कोको यु क्यान सी द डिफरेन्स यसमा पनि होइन सो इट काइन्ड अफ रिलेट्स इन द कन्टेन्ट पार्ट एज वेल अनि अर्को पनि लाइक ब्लग्सहरूको कुरा गर्ने हो भने पनि फर इक्जाम्पल अब अस्ति नै चाहिँ हामीले डिजिटल ट्रान्सफर्मेसनको एउटा होल लाइक सिरिज नै गरेको थियो कि डिजिटल ट्रान्सफर्मेसनको ब्लग्स मात्र पठाइरहेको सो त्यसको लागि चाहिँ त्यो उसको टार्गेट अडियन्स चाहिँ इट वाज सपोज टु बी फर क्लाइन्ट्स नि त सो त्यसमा चाहिँ भोइसहरू एकदमै लाइक हुन्छ नि प्रोफेसनल एन्ड अल छ वेयरएज नर्मल अब टेक कम्युनिटीको लागि नेपालकै टेक कम्युनिटीको लागि टार्गेट गरेको ब्लग्सहरू अनि हाम्रो कल्चरको जेनरल ब्लग्सहरू चाहिँ इट ह्याज सर्ट अफ लाइक द्याट मोर फन खालको टोन चाहिँ आउन जान्छ
अनि I think the fun factor was important even to differentiate ourselves locally in Nepal as well, because given all the other companies that operate in this space, most of them are pretty serious in terms of their style, their language. But we kind of deliberately wanted to make that decision to stand out in a way that we're using Ribi and we're using cartoons. Even the Agariko website, it was full of frogs. I counted there were like 9 frogs in our homepage of the website. And that was an intentional decision to use really interesting artwork and cartoonish look so that kind of we stand out. If you see the illustrations are still there, which have not been taken away. But what we've done is we've made it more humans. We're using more humans instead of frogs. So that was like the evolution that has happened even in the website part. I mean, that's like a very conscious decision that we took as a company when we're doing the redesign of this website in 2020 summer, to make sure that it kind of has that friendly vibe. So maybe the typeface that we use is kind of round and very like welcoming font, and the color are still like, you know, it's kind of faithful to the original color palette. Having said that, we're also introducing these roundness and this overall, like, you know, like warmth and this friendliness to the pages. Like if you see that Bichko laptop go stickers, it actually shows what a typical leapfrogger is, what they do. And also if you see towards the left, so that's a shot from our Seattle office. So we're kind of making sure that it balances in a way that we are best of both worlds. So that is the kind of voice that we have. And also our principals are extremely friendly and like fun people, and we also wanted that to show, not just us, but even like our Himal Dai or Chris or Chandika Dai, who are like extremely fun people, you know, like, so that kind of shows that it trickles down right from the leadership, that, you know, being fun and doing what you do with happiness and kind of a positive attitude really makes a difference. And that's something that, you know, shows in various things of our offline and online branding.
Adding on to that, I think like more over 2 years also, I've been able to see the evolution of our design team. Like anywhere, we've got such amazing people here that I'll have an idea like Swapnil mentioned, it just comes up ready in like 1 घण्टा जस्तो के हैन. अनि I know like हाम्रो juniors-हरुले पनि भन्छ कि स्वप्निल र तपाई चाहिँ पहिलादेखि चिना मान्छे हो, like you guys work so spontaneously भन्छ कि, and we're like no, we just have this level mind को चाहिँ नि भनेर. So any kind of event that we try to do, like Swapnil mentioned, internal host or external host, we try to promote our brand, हाम्रो culture बढाउनलाई पनि हुन्छ नि एउटा standard set गर्दा छ design teamले, that we cannot go below this के हुन्छ नि, तिमीहरु सोच्ने भए पनि यो भन्दा माथि सोचेर आइज के हुन्छ नि, like don't bring us ideas below this. So हाम्रो design पुलिसहरुले चाहिँ नि साँच्चै नै they've made it त्यति स्ट्रिक्ट हुनु पनि मलाई चाहिँ कहिलेकाहीँ दिक्क लाग्छ कि सुरुमा ह्या कस्तो गाह्रो गरिदिएको हुन्छ नि, लाइक यति पनि त फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी दिनु नि भनेर हैन. बट त्यति स्ट्रिक्ट भएर नै आई थिंक I've realized लिफ्रगको एउटा जुन ब्रान्ड छ नि, कतै पनि लिफ्रगको नाम आयो भने अब चाहिँ नि सरोजले गर्दाखेरि आम लाइक त्यो लोगोको खुट्टा ठीक छ कि छैन. अब अहिले नै सरोज आइ एम श्योर युर थिङ्किङ मेरै पछाडिको ब्याकग्राउन्डमा लिफ्रगको लोगो मिलेको छैन हुन्छ नि. I'm really sorry about that. I tried.
That's fine.
But just to elaborate on my point is that एउटा जुन कन्सियसली डिसिजन लिन सक्छ नि लाइक एउटा जुन ब्रान्ड भनेर हामीले पोर्ट्रे गर्न सक्छ जुन चाहिँ कल्चर द्याट we're ट्राइङ टु रिइन्फोर्स इन लिफ्रग न्यू कमर्सलाई पनि इभेन्ट्सकै थ्रु यही डिजाइन यही कलर्स हुन्छ नि यो फिलले गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ नि लिफ्रग के हो भनेर इन्डाइरेक्टली नै उनीहरूले थाहा पाइसकेका हुन्छ कि वी डोन्ट निड टु किप टेलिङ देम लिफ्रगको कल्चर यो हो लिफ्रग यसरी गर्छ होइन सो the colors we use, the language, just like Drishya mentioned, त्यो vibes create गरेर चाहिँ we're trying to, show Leapfrog show everyone how cool Leapfrog is.
Absolutely. Pushpa asks me about UX and UI. I think we will have solid answers to that with Saroj and Sabina, who are going to join us next week. So Pushpa, I suggest that you join us next week and I will answer that question first thing, because as I said, we're mostly talking about marketing, communication and events. So kind of UI UX because this is like a single 1.5 घण्टाको episode dedicate गरेछ. So we'll come to that. Amir Singh sent me a message that's saying a design that I'm really proud of or embarrassed about. Proud of saying Mandala is one of the good designs that I have done. Let me make also clear that I am like one of the least talented people in the art section right now, because we have these awesome people that we've hired who are like professional artists, and even people like Alas, who is a very, very good artist. Then we have Deepshika, we have Vivek, and sorry if I forgot anybody else, but all of these people are they're incredible. And we're using this Deepshikako works we're using most recently because she joined us Bhattarai, and she's introduced this entire new style of artwork that we didn't have before this. So work kind of that difference feel by like from what we used to do. Before we were serious about building a very like a solid brand, I mean it's a free pick but undraw but vector illustrations or last 2 years we banned using stock illustrations because stock photography download stock illustration download what you see recently is all kind of homegrown. It's all built inside Leapfrog, and because we have IT company designers, developers, they're like such a wonderful artist. I'm Slack my channels art like I'm like surprised, like these guys are so good. Pencil sketches, vector sketches, and they're doing this awesome stuff, and we want to really kind of take their help to kind of help us elevate the brand in a way that it stands out. Again, the same thing about how to make it different in terms of what it looks like. Original artwork really matters, we kind of investing more time and effort in that. And also a design that I'm embarrassed about like for example Ruby overuse Santa Claus hat kind of started looking too stale, too like run of the mill. So those are the kind of designs that I'm displeased about. So yeah, when I look back, recently I think because it's more of these new folks who kind of come up with these great ideas, and I'm just here to help them take that forward. And I think that's why my diversity and variation or like style overall नयाँपन चाहिँ आएको छ. मैले नै गरिराखेको भए probably त्यति आउँदैन थियो होला हैन. So त्यही भएर चाहिँ kind of I feel right now there are more designs that I'm proud about because of all these awesome things and awesome people who've come in to join the team.
I still remember like सुरुमा चाहिँ नि हाम्रो कस्तो आइडियाजहरु क्ल्याश हुन्थ्यो नि स्वप्नहरु लाइक ए अलिकति थपौँ न लाइक हैन हैन यति ठीक छ हुन्छ. I still remember going through ideas like embarrassing take questions सोद्धाखेरि चाहिँ नि yeah I am the one who comes up with these crazy wacky ideas हैन. अस्ति भर्खर I still remember like it was just in my head. किनभने अब हामी कहाँ कैलाश छ, हामी कहाँ हिमाल छ हैन, हामी कहाँ क्रिस छ. सो आई वाज लाइक क्रिसलाई कृष्ण भगवान बनाइदिम अनि हिमाल र कैलाशलाई एकै ठाउँमा राखेर क्रिसले यसरी बोकिरहेको जस्तो भनेर हैन. एन्ड यु गाइज आर लाइक ओ प्लिज त्यस्तो गर्नु. So yeah, those are kind of embarrassing stories हुन्छ नि. Like I guess I'm the one who comes up with, because त्यो के भन्ने अब अलिकति फन एलिमेन्ट एड गर्नलाई पनि म चाहिँ नि त्यस्तै क्रेजी आइडियाज लिएर आइरहेको हुन्छ एन्ड दिस गाइज आर द वन्स हु टोन मी डाउन के दे लाइक कम अन यस्तो पनि गर्नुहुन्न नि भन्दै होइन बट दे डु आई रियली वाज प्राउड अफ द पोस्टर वी केम अप विथ स्वप्निल त्यो हाम्रो ऊ के लर्ड अफ द रिङ्सको रिमेम्बर
राइट सो हाम्रो चाहिँ प्राञ्जलीले चाहिँ हाम्रो जुन क्वार्टरली अलायन्सहरूलाई चाहिँ थीमेटिक बनाउँछ कि लाइक अघि न इफ यु स एन एक्जाम्पल सर्कसको थिममा थियो त्योभन्दा अगाडि चाहिँ लर्ड अफ द रिङ्स थिममा थियो होइन अनि त्यसमा चाहिँ काइन्ड अफ वी युज्ड आवर 3 प्रिन्सिपल्स एन्ड ड्रेस देम एज के अरे मैले आई एम सरी आई डोन्ट नो लर्ड अफ द रिङ्सको बारेमा व्हाट आर द नेम्स आई फरगट
ग्यान्डाल्फ थियो अनि साइमन थियो एन्ड आई फरगट द third wizard ko naam the nature-सँग connected one.
Sorry guys, I'm really I don't know Lord of the Rings, so I kind of
I know, I remember you saying that. Like no padhaunchu ni ma sabai content padhaidinchu, you just need
and that was really cool. And एकपल्ट पनि हामीले एउटा करियर्समा पनि हामीले एकपल्ट फेसबुकमा पोस्ट गरेको थियो कि we had this post where like ठ्याक्कै अभेन्जर्स इन्फिनिटी वार रिलिज भएको बेलामा थियो होइन अभेन्जर्स असेम्बल भनेर भेकेन्सी एड के लिपफ्रगर्स असेम्बल भनेर निकालेको थियो कि सो वी डु द्याट आई मिन अगेन ड्रइङ द लाइन इज काइन्ड अफ इम्पोर्टेन्ट बिकज फनी र क्रिन्जमा चाहिँ काइन्ड अफ रियली निड्स टु we need to know where to draw the line, and also being correct is more important because as the Bhattarai I was looking at a company called social media and they had a post which was like extremely sexist because kind of it portrayed women in an inappropriate light, and then they had to remove the post after some time. So kind of that's where our Drishya le agina jun tyo planning ko dekhayo and multiple stakeholders involved गर्ने process देखायो त्यहाँ गर्दा चाहिँ हामी audit पनि गर्न सक्छ कि त्यसको त्यो जुन sensibilities हरु right place मा छ कि छैन, does that kind of make sense for us to post that, what should be the messaging भनेको चाहिँ multiple parties हरु त्यसमा मल्टिपल मान्छेहरु इन्भल्भ गर्ने भएको रहेर त्यसको चेक एन्ड ब्यालेन्स चाहिँ राम्रो छ हैन. सो त्यही भएर चाहिँ कुनै पनि पोस्ट बाहिर जानु भन्दा अगाडि चाहिँ एटलिस्ट 4-5 जनाको आँखा चाहिँ परे हुन्छ त्यसमा इन भेरियस थिङ्स इन्क्लुडिङ सरोज हु इज आवर पुलिस जसले चाहिँ सरी सरोज जसले चाहिँ त्यसको लाइक
4-5 जना मात्र
Oh yes, actually we had that. Mainly चाहिँ 4-5 जना तर yeah definitely त्यहाँ त्यो Slack channel post गरेपछि you get like a very long list of feedback, and so everybody suggesting things from their perspective, and kind of it's very important to be inclusive in a way that we respect everybody's perspective because a lot of the feedback that they give actually is relevant and it makes sense. के त्यही भएर पनि त्यो खालको अडिटिङ गर्न चाहिँ extremely important छ. र त्यही भएर चाहिँ कुनै पनि पोस्ट बाहिर जानु भन्दा एटलिस्ट 1-2 दिन अगाडि चाहिँ we kind of make sure that everybody's seen that and they know that it's going out, so that we don't have surprises later, because I don't think we've done any takedowns because we've kind of maintained that higher quality of content that we post online or the events that we do. They will say kind of it's going on well so far. Right. So questions चाहिँ यहाँ धेरैजनाले खास UX कै सोध्नु भएछ जुन मैले भने नेक्स्ट विक डिस्कस गरौँ भनेर. त्यो बाहेक चाहिँ अहिले हाम्रो एक्जिस्टिङ सोसियल मिडियामा देख्नुहुने कन्टेन्ट अथवा हाम्रो इभेन्ट्सहरूको बारेमा तपाईलाई केही क्वेसन छ or there's something that you want to know about our internal process of how the MarCom works, त्यो भए भने चाहिँ we can actually really give you our perspective. So सरोज चाहिँ पुलिस भने उलाई हामीले पुलिस मात्रै भनेको हैन त. He looks nothing like a police. He's a very very friendly person. He does.
All that. Of course, just like imagine with that police ko topi. Okay, of course, man, he's got that perfect zoom and all that. Next week they
yeah. So definitely, and to higher quality gareko karan pani kind of त्यो भएर त अहिले kind of what we do kind of makes sense, हैन. And then that's all very important, right? Because हामीले डिजिटल मार्केटिङ गर्ने त भन्यो, इभेन्ट्सहरु गर्ने, आउटरीच गर्ने त भन्यो हैन. तर चाहिँ सलिड प्लान नभएको भए चाहिँ यस्तो गर्ने भनेर सबैजनामा क्ल्यारिटी नभएको र यसरी भन्ने कुराको क्ल्यारिटी नभए भने चाहिँ kind of we often times it kind of falls apart, and that's something that we really built a process that helps us, make sure that the things that we do is kind of makes sense and it's kind of looks good and it really represents us in a positive light. Right? So that's all we had to present. Many questions are pani तपाईहरुको खासै क्वेशन छैन भने हामीले एन्ड पनि गर्न सक्छौं so let us know if there is something there is that okay there we go we have a question how do you guys come up with a theme like is it what's trending or just something else so it could be again दृश्यले भन्यो हैन इन्टेन्सन के हो हामी के का लागि गरिरा हो भन्ने कुराले चाहिँ थीम जनरली डिक्टेट गरिरहेको हुन्छ जस्तो लाग्छ मलाई हैन so what is the purpose of doing particular thing if it's involving people to join our internship program we have a certain style of Asti Mithila art was something that we wanted to try because it was women in UX one theme here so Tesma wanted to put women up front but then we didn't want like to run off the mill get you so smile garera hasira photo rakhna la man lagena so how can we make it more interesting but let's do Mithila art the idea I you know and त्यहाँबाट we kind of created that because Mithila art really has very strong women representation in the artworks that they have and so that was the inspiration behind you know using that style and त्यसरी चाहिँ brainstorm गर्दा गर्दै आउँछ yeah go on Drishya, you want to
yeah so I would also like to add isma I think the credit goes to like all those creativity like creative people at Leapfrog we have so many like creative people at Leapfrog okay and just okay अब like केही पनि events or के गर्ने बेलामा चाहिँ it's like okay नाम सोचौं भन्दाखेरि पनि like हुन्छ नि कति जनाको कति धेरै सजेशन्स आइराको हुन्छ के अनि it depends upon like हुन्छ नि त्यो नाममा अब जस्तो डिजाइन डिस्को भनेर नाम आयो नि त त्यो भएपछि okay there is the theme okay disco भनेर आइहाल्छ नि त so I guess it is all all credit is due to the creativity of those Leapfroggers and like all of us working together and like throwing out all kinds of ideas and selecting them.
Right. And also yeah, go on.
थीमहरु पनि like Swapnil mentioned हैन अब हाम्रो एनुअल इभेन्ट हुन्छ इन्टरनल नै हैन अब इन्टरनल के हुँदै जाँदो रहेछ भने ओभर द इयर्स यु गेट सो बोर्ड के लाइक द मोर दैट यु वर्क इन द कम्पनी सिस्टम एउटा बुझिसकेपछि चाहिँ नि यु लाइक फेरि त्यही भनेर हुन्छ नि हाम्रो च्यालेन्ज चाहिँ नि त्यही भएको छ कि मान्छेहरुलाई कसरी इन्गेजिङ र क्युरियस बनाउने हरू स्वप्निलकै आइडियामा एड गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ नि yeah so what is the kind of message that we're trying to send plus any event ko any major success rate हेर्ने नै attendance र engagement हैन how long did this person stay in your event so त्यसको लागि चाहिँ नि सोच्नु पर्दा it's basically theme त्यहीबाट ड्राइभ हुन्छ के अब जस्तो हाम्रैमा इभेन्ट त वर्षको हुन्छै हुन्छ हैन क्वार्टर त्यसमा पनि च्यालेन्ज के हुन्छ भने एभ्री क्वार्टरमा व्हाट इज इट दैट यु आर ट्राइङ टु कसरी चाहिँ इन्गेजिङ र इन्ट्रेस्टिङ बनाउने हैन अघि न मैले भनेको थिएँ भर्चुअलमा त झन् गाह्रो हुने रहेछ कि बिकज फिजिकलमा त मान्छेहरूको बडी ल्याङ्ग्वेज हैन मान्छेहरूको फेस उ गरेर इन्भिटेसनहरू पठाउँदाखेरिको जुन आउनुपर्छ भन्ने एउटा फिल हुन्थ्यो त्यसले गर्दा नै अर्कै एउटा रमाइलो हुन्थ्यो तर भर्चुअलमा च्यालेन्जै त्यही रहेछ कि हाउ आर यु मेक इट and interesting for people हैन so themes हरु पनि त्यहीले ड्राइभ हुन्छ and it's always like अब चाहिँ नि के इन्ट्रेस्टिङ बनाउनु छ अब चाहिँ नि कसरी अझै पनि बेटर भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ नि थीमहरु डिजाइनहरु चाहिँ त्यहाँबाट पनि ड्राइभ हुन्छ so yeah
also the process is very democratic भनेको हामीलाई certain number of ideas आयो हैन like 5 वटा नाम like for example design disco भनेर डिसाइड गर्नु भन्दा अगाडि पनि we had like 5-6 वटा हो कि त्योभन्दा बढी अझै नामहरुको चोइसेसहरु थियो so what we do is we actually let people vote हैन भोट गर्दाखेरि it also is very democratic that people who kind of most people select a certain name because design disco was it received the highest votes that's why we selected that अरु पनि के थियो अहिले मैले ठ्याक्कै बिर्सेँ हैन त्यो गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ it also makes people kind of everyone happy because everybody has their say because they feel appreciated and their idea is welcome and that's very important because हामीले चार जना बसेर डिसाइड गर्ने त हैन नि त केही पनि कुरा because since this is something that has so many other people involved it actually impacts so many हैन so त्यो भएको भएर चाहिँ it's kind of important to sorry about those dogs my neighborhood dogs so I kind of I'm not really sure if I can help that right now but I'm really sorry about that so it helps so Rashmita Bandari ko pani I think it answers the question because it's kind of more deciding it to bhako bhayera chai it kind of lets us select the given designs ma चाहिँ best design just select गर्न help गर्छ हैन अनि अर्को कुरा चाहिँ अब there's another question if there's a disagreement between the teams design events DM like there's a conflict between two design of the same content which team wins and so it's kind of winning or losing भन्दा पनि how can we take like the best things from both or multiple posts and because we हाम्रो idea hell भन्ने खासै किन हुँदैन भन्दाखेरि we kind of do extensive groundwork paperwork before anything gets made into a design or a campaign त्यो गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ wastage हामीले control चाहिँ गरे हुन्छ त्यो गर्दाखेरि discard ideasहरु discard गर्ने भनिसकेपछि डिजाइन गरेर visualize गरेर okay let's choose between the two भनेर एउटा चुज गर्ने भने चाहिँ खासै बात छैन because already त्यो design phase मा पुग्दाखेरि चाहिँ a lot of your ideas are already decided okay it's supposed to be Mithila art it's supposed to be yellow in color it's supposed to have a woman this is the text that's going to be there Google Doc or Microsoft Word ma already to clear bhayera lekera basisakya huncha ke and that's already decided त्यो गर्दाखेरि once design is made खासै conflict त्यसमा आउँदैन तर पनि यदि in case people have two polarizing ideas आयो भने चाहिँ we kind of see and assess how we can take like good ideas from both and merge it into a one like even better product जस्तो लाग्छ मलाई है design disco नाम चाहिँ त्यही हो like started सोच्नलाई first step was we kind of bringing how to bring all the departments in one place so then we thought सबैजना एउटा ठाउँमा आउँदाखेरि चाहिँ कस्तो ठाउँमा चाहिँ मान्छे एक ठाउँमा आउँछ भन्दाखेरि डिस्कोमा आउँछ okay let's call it disco and त्यसपछि what is one thing that's binding them design so okay design disco so त्यसरी चाहिँ it's kind of brainstorming process बाट चाहिँ we kind of decide on names and that's how design के disco भन्ने नाम पनि त्यसरी नै आएको है अनि त्यसपछि त iterative पनि हुन्छ but again in very short time being creative and innovative and iterative are the biggest challenges that we have every day at work but I can and kind of that's more interesting why you know like if the random ideas have been announced in the Pranjali Drishya le bhane jasto हैन so कुनै कुनै ideas what really भन्ने खालको ideas हरु पनि आउँछ हैन and then that's the beauty of it and we have like ideas in all spectrum from great ideas to worse ideas so we kind of know like what to choose between the ideas okay तीन चार चोटी लिभ
अर्को एउटा कुरा चाहिँ नि I just wanted to अघिनको क्वेसन आन्सर गर्दा त्यो कम्पिटिसन भन्दा पनि I think there's like a mutual respect के हुन्छ नि so just someone मैले यो आइडिया लिएर आए भनेपछि we kind of support that idea rather than going other way around okay because एउटा थीम आयो एउटा इभेन्ट गर्ने भनिसकेपछि there's like so many different ideas flowing in someone just catches it ल म यसरी गर्छु भनेपछि we're like so excited about the process नै कि we don't even have time to think about competition के कसले के आइडिया ल्याउँछ कसले के आइडिया ल्याउँछ अनि त्यसमा पनि कन्ट्राडिक्टिङ अलिकति you know अलिकति चित्त नबुझ्दाखेरि पनि it's more like such a open heartedly त्यो कमेन्ट्सहरु लिइरा हुन्छ के जस्तो कहिलेकाहीँ हुन्छ नि एउटा आइडिया आयो अलिकति मिलेन अब जस्तै यही डिजाइन डिस्कोको लोगो नै नि रिमेम्बर हाउ मेनी टेक्स्ट वी वर वर्किङ विवेक 4-5 वटा आइडिया लिएर आएको थियो एन्ड देन वी वर लाइक ओके यो गर्ने बट दिस वाज अल्सो कलरफुल चाहिँ नि अनि जस्ट टु लाइक सपोर्ट हिज आइडिया वी वर लाइक प्ले अराउन्ड विथ कलर्स नि भनेर सो आई स्टिल रिमेम्बर मैले अघि न त्यो फिग्माको हाम्रो आइटिनरीको कुरा गर्दाखेरि पनि I used to consult you guys so many times यो मिल्यो यो फन्ट राख्दा हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि I inside मेरो मनले चाहिँ नि के भन्थ्यो नि प्लिज टेक दिस आफै गर्देऊ न लाइक मलाई एकदम गाह्रो भइसक्यो हैन बट लाइक I never got that कि भएको म गर्छु भनेर कहिले आएन कि सबिना पनि she was like दि यसमा अलिकति यो एड गर्नु न अलिकति लेफ्टमा अलिकति राइटमा हुन्छ नि I'm like प्लिज टेक दिस फ्रम मी मलाई पुगिसक्यो यो हैन तर it's always like you guys kept suggesting until and unless that thing became so beautiful okay हुन्छ नि so I really appreciate that about you guys कहिले पनि कसैको आर्टवर्क लिएर चाहिँ नि त्यसमा हुन्छ नि आफ्नो एड गर्न भन्दा पनि you guys push that person to make it
okay true and also introducing Figma to DM and events team was one of the best things we've done recently, because अहिलेसम्म चाहिँ UI design को लागि मात्रै Figma चलाउने भन्ने कुरा थियो हैन. Then we broke that because these guys no longer work in Photoshop or other tools. So Figma it's easier for everybody to see.
It's really a good idea.
It is a very good idea.
It was really a good idea for the design team.
Exactly.
Okay.
देखिस् भनेर देखाउन खोजेको.
Well, you guys think like that. I think that was a kind of a good decision we made, so that the process is more transparent. The process is more transparent, so we know exactly what's going on. That's I kind of think, at least being on the same page, it's really helped, right? So एकजनाले सोध्नु भएको छ 3-4 चोटी लिपफ्रगमा ट्राई गर्दा नि रिजेक्सन. ओके सरी, यो क्वेसन चाहिँ हामी एपिसोड 6 मा हाम्रो ट्यालेन्ट एक्विजिसन र एचआर को टिम आउँदै हुनुहुन्छ. एपिसोड 6 भनेको अबको 4 हप्तापछि. त्यहाँ चाहिँ we'll talk about how the onboarding and the recruitment process happens. So अहिलेलाई त्यो क्वेसनमा स्किप गरे है. So Sanjeev Maharjan asks, a certain program को डिजाइन डिसाइड गर्न कति जना टिम चाहिन्छ? टिपिकली हाम्रो टिम कस्तो हुन्छ दृश्य भन्दै?
So अब प्रोग्राममा पनि डिपेन्ड गर्छ हैन. जस्तो फर एक्जाम्पल इभेन्ट्स टिम र डिएम टिमले मात्रै गर्न सक्ने इभेन्ट पनि भइरहेको हुन्छ एक कहिलेकाहीँ चाहिँ. सो त्यसमा अब हामी दुईटा टिमहरू मिलेर गरिरहेको हुन्छ. अनि बट लाइक इफ सम इभेन्ट जसमा चाहिँ नि इफ देयर सम इभेन्ट जसमा चाहिँ नि वी निड द हेल्प अफ डेभलपर्स पनि होला, कुनैमा चाहिँ धेरैजना डिजाइनर्सहरूको पनि इन्भल्भमेन्ट चाहिन्छ होला. सो त्यताबाट चाहिँ दुई तिनजना चाहिँ हामी तानेर लाइक डिएम टिमबाट एटलिस्ट 2 people आर इन्भल्भ. अनि इभेन्ट्स टिम त अब देयर जस्ट 2 man आर्मी हैन. इभेन्ट्स टिममा त इभेन्ट्स टिमको त 2 जना भइहाल्यो. त्यसपछि या अरु चाहिँ हुन्छ निड बेसिसमा वी ट्राई टु.
ठुलो इभेन्टमा धेरै मान्छे चाहिन्छ, सानो इभेन्टमा थोरै मान्छे चाहिन्छ. सो त्यो kind प्रोग्रामको स्केलले पनि हेर्छ हैन. So what's brand from your perspective? म आन्सर गरौँ है त. सो ब्रान्ड भनेको चाहिँ इट्स काइन्ड अफ पर्सनालिटी. हामीले कोही मान्छे भेट्छौँ, त्यो मान्छे कति फ्रेन्डली छ, त्यो मान्छे कति लाइक खडुस छ भन्ने कुरा चाहिँ हामीले हल्का इन्टरेक्ट गर्ने बित्तिकै बुझ्छ नि हैन. So I think that's exactly the same thing with brand. Brand is like how the company or the brand is हैन. हामीले कस्तो पर्सेप्सन पाउँछ त्यो ब्रान्डसँग इन्टरेक्ट गर्दाखेरि. लिफ्रगको पोस्टहरु हेर्दाखेरि कस्तो फिल हुन्छ? डज इट फिल लाइक यु नो स्टबर्न kind of stuck up brand feel हुन्छ कि a very friendly somebody that you want to go out hang out with खालको brand feel हुन्छ हैन. त्यो फिलिङ इन्भोक गर्ने चाहिँ I think that's the brand in my perspective. I hope I answered that. So Sriluna Shresthala sodhnu bhako छ, how often do you measure, review your social media performance and reach out? Do you also set certain targets before running specific campaigns on social media? Drishya, that's for you.
Yeah, so okay, यसको लागि चाहिँ there's 2 things हैन. नर्मली हामीले लिफरगको सोशल मिडियाको बारेमा मात्रै लाइक सोशल मिडियाको रिच आउटहरु गरिरहेको, त्यसमा चाहिँ इट डज नट लाइक हुन्छ नि हामी त्यस्तो धेरै इन्गेजमेन्टहरु बढाम यस्तो भनेर चाहिँ गरिरहेको चाहिँ छैन हैन. बट कन्ट्रास्टिङ टु दैट कुनै पनि प्रोजेक्टमा चाहिँ इफ वी आर ट्राइङ टु रन सोशल मिडिया क्याम्पेन्स, त्यसमा चाहिँ एकदमै के भन्छ एनालिटिक्स बेस्ड खालको हुन्छ के सबै क्याम्पेनहरु चाहिँ. जस्तो कुनै एड्स रन गर्नु छ भने यसको टार्गेट यति, व्हाट आर वी ट्राइङ टु एक्चुअली अचिभ फ्रम दैट पोस्ट भनेर चाहिँ सबै कुरा हुन्छ. नट टु से कि लिफरगमा चाहिँ हुँदैन, बट लिफरगमा चाहिँ अलिकति दैट इज अ लिटल बिट लेस अफ अ प्रायोरिटी. अनि हुन्छ नि वन्स इट गेट्स अ सॉर्ट अफ लाइक मन्डेन अर लाइक बोरिङ, अनि त्यसपछि चाहिँ हामी लाइक हुन्छ नि ओके लेट्स डु समथिङ न्यू भनेर. अनि फर एक्जाम्पल यो इभेन्ट्स पछि पनि हाम्रो जेनरली चाहिँ बढिरहेको हुन्छ के. सो हुन्छ नि एज ए केपीआई अफ इभेन्ट सक्सेस मेजरमेन्ट or हुन्छ नि कुनै क्याम्पेन सक्सेस मेजरमेन्ट चाहिँ हामीले कहिलेकाहीँ चाहिँ गरिरहेको हुन्छ.
Awesome. So Anjan Paudel has another question. What else do you guys do to break down this notion of corporate companies being boring or unengaging? I think the voice, the tone, the language is important. तर पनि at the same time के पनि हुन्छ भने धेरै ठुलो कम्पनीले फेरि kind of अति cool youthful language बोल्न खोजे पनि कहिलेकाहीँ चाहिँ unnatural पनि देख्न सक्छ के. Like for example, let's consider this XYZ company that has like 1,000 employees and suddenly decide to go like, hey bro, what's up गर्न थाल्यो भने चाहिँ अलिकति नसुहाउने हुन सक्छ नि त. So but for us, हाम्रो average age in Leapfrog is about 25 to 30 ko bichma, or maybe even less. So most of the staff, most of the employees are very young people. Most of them are unmarried. So त्यो गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ हाम्रो overall company को culture नै got driven by like you know the youthfulness of the whole like the staff. So I kind of feel one of the older people in the company, but that's a different thing. त्यो गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ kind of it really
helps us to connect in that level. And also the target, the intentions of doing these, is because right now we are as a service company based out of the US. Our objective is not selling something locally. अहिले नेपालमा हामीले बेचिरहेको त के पनि छैन नि त. So what we're doing is we're trying to build a brand that people can like relate to and people know about, or people would love to kind of maybe in the future join. So त्यो खालको हामीले एउटा brand image build गर्न खोजिरहेको नि त. त्यो भएको भएर हाम्रो the whole intention of doing these outreach campaigns is to make sure that we connect with the people of the target that we are kind of going out for. That's why we became like this. That maybe if we were selling insurance software, or maybe our approach would be totally different. I know we'd be probably wearing suit and tie, going like, okay, this is like that. That does not happen, and because from top level to for company, interesting, we don't have a dress code, and so everybody can be comfortable at work. So just to guide like who we are. So summer my shorts is okay in Leapfrog.
Adding that अर्को corporateness हामीले कसरी त्यो stiffness erase गर्न खोजिरहेको भनेको, like if you remember the post हामीले राखेको, we promote leapfroggers stories के. So Drishya mentioned हामीले कसरी चाहिँ नि अब corporate भनेपछि कस्तो stiff strict हुन्छ हैन, तर we want to also parade our people, parade in a sense like उहाँहरुको achievement not just in the Leapfrog, not just in the IT company, we also try to show who they are in person, उहाँहरुको स्टोरीजहरु कसरी हो. So Leapfrog भनेको, it's not just Leapfrog, it's the people that work here, So Leapfrog को brand पनि promoting is promoting people, and if we let other people know how their lives are, how Leapfroggerको एउटा life is, हाम्रो success, if you remember Drishya, हाम्रो एकदमै राम्रो success reach भएको भनेको life of a PM भनेर जुन अंकिताको post हामीले राखेको थियो हैन. So people connecting to the normal lives हुन्छ नि. अब people even stories अस्ति नै हामीले क्वार्टरलीमा के गर्यो भने, of course principalsहरु पनि live छ हैन, but since they're directors and principals, what we think is उहाँहरु त एकदमै sorted out हुन्छ नि, उहाँहरुको timesहरु सबै sorted out छ भन्दाखेरि what we did is उहाँहरुको life पनि in a pandemic कस्तो छ भनेर हैन. So babies jumping around, we try to show that. So people को personal livesहरु पनि promote गरेर चाहिँ नि we're trying to break this corporate एकदमै stiff हुन्छ नि, सब एकदम टाइममा आउने टाइममा जाने सबै चीज रुटिन वाला छ भनेर चाहिँ त्यो स्टेरियोटाइप चाहिँ हामीले त्यसरी ब्रेक गर्न खोजिरहेछौँ.
And also अर्को धेरै कुरा कस्तो हेल्प गर्दो रहेछ भन्दाखेरि it's kind of empowers when you actually give people more like authority or kind of power to decide. I think accountability बढ्छ र त्यसले गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ productivity बढ्छ हैन. For example, Leapfrogमा you kind of, even before the pandemic, you had the privilege of working from home when you wanted. मैले 2-3 अफिस गएर ह्याङ्गो, आज म एक दिन घर बसेर सबै काम सकाउँछु भने I had that opportunity. And 2014-15 भन्दा अगाडिदेखि नै मान्छेहरूले चाहिँ यो WFH लाई युज गरिरहेको थियो. But at the same time, what we are empowering these people is to use their WFH wisely. मान्छेले work from home लिएर घरमा गएर सुत्यो भने त at the end of the day we know that this person has not completed the work and they probably slept at home. त्यो कुरा त accountability ले देखाइहाल्छ नि त हैन. So kind of it really lets people have that like power of making their decisions so that they become more accountable to what they're doing. And that is the whole philosophy behind starting work from home even before a pandemic. And it's actually always worked in people's favor because then people have been more responsible and more accountable to what they do. And त्यसरी चाहिँ आउँदो रहेछ र त्यो चाहिँ माथिदेखि तलसम्मै त्यो कल्चर बिल्ड गरेको भएर चाहिँ it's never like ठग्ने अथवा चाहिँ मान्छेले काम नगर्ने or performance नदिने भन्ने चाहिँ हुँदैन, because we have these processes in place and the processes are so strong that they can actually let people be the master of their decisions, and that's really what helps the company move forward, right? So I think we are kind of going 1 घण्टा 30 मिनटको मार्क अलिकति क्लोज हुनु जस्तो लाग्यो हैन. यहाँ क्वेशन गोकुलजीको क्वेशन छ, स्वप्निल दाइ, हाउ डु यु कनेक्ट इभेन्ट थीम विथ इभेन्ट अर्गनाइजर? यसमा हामीले अघि नै पनि अलिकति डिस्कस गरेको भएर यसमा अलिकति अगाडि जान्न हैन. So quality or quantity content? Quality is definitely what we go for. So we don't want to post one post every 2 hours and then expect people to kind of like every post. That doesn't happen. Still better saying, definitely quality is something that matters to us. We're also kind of reducing the substandard posts that kind of, we know that certain posts that does not get us engagement, we've actually stopped doing it, because if people are not responding to it, there's no point of doing it. Happy Gode Jatra bhanera khasai kehi faida nabhako bhayera we actually stopped making those posts. I think definitely quality and engagement is something that we would look forward to. So Pushpa Joshi asks, I'm sure you did many time one-shot design approved. Could you please share your experience developing best designs? Mindset, skill, customer problem, understanding, knowledge, and domain. Okay, so the questions alikati product tira pani gayo, but I'll kind of just contextualize in how we decide for hamro aileko ajako webinar ko topic. So one-shot design भन्ने हुन्छ हैन. त्यो one-shot design त कसरी हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि मैले एउटा कथा पढेको थिएँ कि एकजना चाहिँ मान्छेको चाहिँ के रे ट्याङ्क पानी चुइरहेको थियो अरे हैन. पानी चुइरहेको बेला चाहिँ उसले चाहिँ मेकानिकलाई बोलायो अरे. अनि मेकानिकले चाहिँ यस्तो स्प्यानरले ढ्याङढ्याङ हानेर पाइपमा दुईपल्ट हैन. अनि पानी मजाले स्टार्टेड फ्लोइङ नर्मली. अनि ल भयो $500 लाग्छ भनेर भने. अनि त्यसपछि त्यो मान्छेले त्यो पर्सन हु हायर्ड आस्क कि यत्रो जब दुईपल्ट स्प्यानरले ढ्याङढ्याङ गरेको $500 कसरी लाग्छ भनेर सोध्यो अरे. भनेको मलाई यो त्यहाँनिर ढ्याङढ्याङ गरेपछि पानी ठिक तरिकाले जान्छ भनेर बुझ्नलाई 20 वर्ष लागेको थियो. सो त्यसको कस्ट हो भनेर भनेथे कि त्यो मेकानिकले. सो गोइङ ब्याक, आई थिंक one shot डिजाइन गर्नलाई चाहिँ you need years and years of practice and experience, and that's how it comes to you naturally. So 15 वर्ष 20 वर्ष डिजाइन गरेपछि यो डिजाइन चाहिँ यस्तो हुनुपर्छ भन्ने कुरा चाहिँ more than instinct भन्दा पनि एक्सपिरियन्सले दिन्छ. And that's something that kind of, you know, what makes one shot designs possible. तर definitely त्यसको लागि चाहिँ you need to know कि exactly पाइपमा कहाँनिर ढ्याङढ्याङ गरेपछि चाहिँ पानीको फोर्स बढ्छ भनेर चाहिँ थाहा नभइकन जहाँ पाइ त्यो ढ्याङढ्याङ गरे भने चाहिँ it kind of will break the pipe. So that's something that you need to be careful about. And I think that's how you should tackle one shot. So like kind of when you are really sure about what you're doing, I think it comes naturally to you. Right? So Rushin Sakya, Swapnil sir, तपाईलाई प्रोग्रामिङ कतिको मन पर्छ, हल्का मन पर्छ भने डिजाइनिङमा कसरी छिर्नु भयो, तपाईले पनि एन्ट्रन्स दिनु भएको हो. ओके, म चाहिँ I've been with Leapfrog from 2013-14 in various capacities. I have been involved. I don't come from a programming background. I've been a designer out and out. म पहिला print designer मा थिएँ, त्यसपछि मैले kind of graphic design गरेँ, त्यसपछि मैले केही समय बिचमा web design गरेँ, अनि मैले नेपाली मुभिजहरुमा गएर नेपाली फिल्मको पोस्टर्सहरु डिजाइन गरेँ, र त्यसपछि अहिले चाहिँ म Leapfrogमा UI UX डिजाइन गर्दैछु. त्यो भएर चाहिँ I don't come from a programming background, but because प्रोग्रामर्सहरुले कसरी काम गर्छ भनेर थाहा नभइकन डिजाइन गर्न गाह्रो हुने भएको भएर चाहिँ मैले चाहिँ प्रोग्रामिङ चाहिँ यस्तो गर्दो रहेछ भनेर चाहिँ मलाई थाहा छ. आई नो हाउ प्रोग्रामिङ इज डन, तर म प्रोफेसनली चाहिँ प्रोग्रामिङ गर्दिन, र मैले फेरि प्रोग्रामिङ गर्न थाले भने लिफ्टको प्रोग्रामरले गाली गर्छ दाइ के गरेर यस्तो बगी कोड गरेर भनेर. सो आई जस्ट स्टे अवे फ्रम दैट, राइट. So in competitive market, how can we make our design stand out? म अलिकति फास्ट गएँ है, because this is the last question that I'll be taking. अनि त्यसपछि we need to wrap है. So in the competitive market, how can we make our design stand out? त्यसको लागि चाहिँ I think अगाडि पनि we mentioned that the intention of this, because intention हुने बित्तिकै uniqueness आउँछ हैन. Your company might have a certain uniqueness that others don't, र त्यो uniqueness लाई तपाईले अगाडि ल्याउनु भयो बित्तिकै तपाईको पोस्ट आफै युनिक भयो हैन. So unique गर्ने बित्तिकै like you can easily spot that. So that is our funda to be unique. Or to stand out, is to highlight that kind of one thing that makes you special from the others, you know. So for us, it's our culture. I would say it's our culture that really stands out. When you put out there, it kind of comes out as this really cool, forward-thinking company where everybody has fun when they produce world-class software. So that's the kind of uniqueness that we have, and we kind of bring that up front. त्यो गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ हाम्रो post probably stands out from the others. So that's how we do it. है त. So there is this feedback link that we've shared with you. Please fill that up and let us know how we can do better, because we kind of really need to wrap because we're out of our time. Right? But Rushin Sakiko, my last question address गरिदिन्छु, then we can end this. है त. Swapnil sir, डिजाइनिङमा कतिको स्कोप छ? यस लङ टर्म. ओके, सो रुशिन तपाईको आन्सर चाहिँ एक्ज्याक्टली नेक्स्ट वीक सेम टाइम सेम विक तपाई आउनु भयो भने आन्सर हुन्छ हैन. सरोज र सबिना हामीसँग हुनुहुन्छ जसले चाहिँ हामी डिजाइनको स्कोप how to become a better designer, and how can you go ahead and may build a better career for yourself भन्ने कुरा डिस्कस गर्छौँ। त्यही भएर चाहिँ तपाईँको क्वेसनलाई चाहिँ नेक्स्ट विक एड्रेस गर्दाखेरि अझ रेलेभेन्ट हुने देखेँ मैले हैन। त्यही भएर चाहिँ प्लिज जोइन अस। सो नेक्स्ट फ्राइडे 10 बजे नेपाल टाइम है त। So that's all from us now. Pranjali, Drishya, if you have any last thoughts. Yes, definitely. We'll definitely try to make sure that you become less confused by the time you enter, like you have the session next week.
No, I guess.
Yeah. Drishya, any last thoughts?
Yeah, I really had fun in this session, like more than I thought, you know. So yeah, and also Saroj like when last year branding boy, so yeah. So
yeah,
next event ma.
So yeah, Saroj lai bhetnu cha bhane next week कस्तो रहेछ Saroj भनेको थाहा पाउनु पर्छ भने चाहिँ next week join गर्नुस्। Yes, तपाईले link पाउनुहुन्छ। तपाईले चाहिँ you'll get an email from us with the link to join our next week's session है त। Thank you so much everyone. Yeah.
Follow us on our social media.
Yes, please follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube,
also
subscribe
YouTube
गर्नुस्, and also TikTok पनि छ अहिले हैन, so we can follow our TikTok as well. Yes. Design
Leapfrog ko चाहिँ TikTok is also coming soon.
Yes, we're working on that. So design team ko Leapfrog design there's already a TikTok. Definitely, thank you. Thank you so much everyone. Have a rest of a good day and have a nice weekend.
I hope like he's been saying this so much that I just really want to wish Rusin very best of luck.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
Rusin, join us next week and we'll answer more of your questions.